Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and as always, today we've got 4 great decks for you, but I do want to let you know immediately that today will be a 2-video day. We have High Voltage Overdrive coming later today. As soon as that mode drops, whether that be Daily Reset or sooner, I have a High Voltage Overdrive video with everything you need to know about the mode and all of what the best decks to start with are for it. So let's get started, however, with our ladder climbing decks. This is the stuff we're going to use to hit Infinite and climb once we're in Infinite. Kicking it off with Skada's Skarta. So for those of you who missed yesterday's video, Skada unfortunately passed away this past weekend in a car accident, and he wants us to remember him in a positive light, and he wants a bunch of happy memories. So we're going to share this really cool, really wild Skada deck that is just one that everyone should strongly consider playing. Just like, it's a blast. This one does so many cool things. This deck needs a reasonable number of expensive cards. We've got Scar, Gladiator, Galacta, Werewolf, and Surge. Copycat is here largely because she's a 3/5, and you would like a Namora to hit 5s to make them 10s for Scar's benefit, so that can be Polaris as the other best 3/5. Now, let's get started. Yellow Jacket is an O2. It's here because it's a cheap way to move the Werewolf by Night. That is fundamentally its main purpose. Having a cheap way to move Werewolf is obviously very, very strong. This is largely a late game card as such. The other thing it can really be used for is last turn. If you have Prio, and you can play that Scar for cheap already, you can drop Yellow Jacket to bring a 10 down to a 9, making it Shang-proof. Those are both very, very useful things. Medusa, meanwhile, is a 2 that becomes a 5 if it can be played mid. If you hit that with Namora, it's a 2/10. Now Scar is 2 cost cheaper. Surge gives +1 power to things, obviously very, very useful, but the -1 energy is what's really great. Namora for 4 in particular is an amazing card, but anything you can play immediately after Surge, you can sort of keep that chain going reasonably well with this deck. Brood and Juggernaut being kind of the only things you don't want to just drop, so it's reasonably solid there. Merlin gives you a lot of spells. You do have some extra stuff that you can make a cost cheaper. Sorry, that you can make a cost more expensive in terms of just using that polymorph, or that you do have a reasonable amount of stuff you can throw into your deck. Plus, the spells are amazing for moving around that Werewolf by Night. The Brood is a last turn play, almost always, with Juggernaut. It's a post-Galacta play, so you can go Galacta into Brood. Now you got a 15 power lane and Juggernaut to help you push some power. That's it. It's really nice. You do often have only one card in the lane because you're setting up for Namora often, so if you end up in that situation, then Brood helping you fill that lane with so much extra power usually wins that lane. Juggernaut is your cheap lane stealer, as always. Werewolf by Night moves around, getting completely huge. It is not uncommon to get Werewolf by turn 5 up to the 10 power you would need for Scar, which is really, really great. Copycat's a 3/5. It could be any card in the game based on what in your opponent's deck, but a 3/5 becomes a 3/10 with Namora. Gladiator easily becomes a 3/10 with Namora, while also just being a fairly powerful card. It's just a good tempo, good power thing to have. Galacta can buff Gladiator up to a 3/10. Galacta is also just really, really great as far as the last turn, making sure your cards end up doing what you want them to. Namora, in certain play patterns, is just a 5/17. That is absolutely absurd stats. And then if you have Galacta, you turn Galacta into a 10. You turn, let's say, a Medusa into a 10, right? At that point, what you've fundamentally done with your game plan, is you've made your Scar be well, if you had Galacta now, right? Namora's a 10, Galacta's a 10, Medusa's a 10. That is a 1/12 Scar, and now you can do all sorts of silly things at the end of the game, dropping a 15 power Brood and a 12 power Scar and so on. Scar is just big and cheap fairly often, and of course, this being a Skada deck, he's called Skarta for a reason. Alright, this deck just has a bunch of really cool lines. Turn 1 you generally pass because you don't have any 1-drops. You don't want to play out that Yellow Jacket there. Oh, I just thought of another Yellow Jacket play that makes a lot of sense. If you play Galacta and Yellow Jacket on the same turn, Yellow Jacket on empty lane, that's going to be 5 power. If you then Namora it, that is a 10 power Yellow Jacket. So that's yet another way to get another 10 power card all at once. So turn 1 you want to pass. Turn 2 is Surge over Medusa, unless you have Namora, in which case you can play Medusa first. Turn 3 is Werewolf, generally speaking, if you've got all the move cards. If you played Merlin, Werewolf is amazing now. Now you can also play Gladiator. If you have Galacta and Namora, you might want to play them before Werewolf, though. Turn 4 is basically always Galacta. Galacta is incredibly powerful. If you have Galacta into Namora and you have Scar, you can snap right there. You can also start moving that wolf around if not. Turn 5 is Namora. If you've got 2 cards that'll get to 10 and you have Scar, that is a snap. So if you can hit Namora with 2 cards, especially if you can hit Namora with 2 cards and the Galacta, you are snapping on that. Go make yourself some 10s. Cool? And then finally, we've got Brood, Juggernaut, Scar, some combination thereof to win the game. And if you can play a 15 power Brood and a 12 power Scar, 27 power last turns of games in Marvel Snap are very often win conditions that you should probably snap. Moving along, before we go further, please hit that sub, like, and comment if you're willing to, as we do our best to bring you a new Marvel Snap deck times 4 every single day. We do 4 decks a day on the channel and 2 videos several days a week. We are also giving away not a season pass, but a PAX bundle this week. We'd like to give away a season pass. We give away a season pass every week, but the new shop doesn't allow us to do that. So instead, I've got a bunch of pack bundles. They'll be given away 1 a week. All you have to do is sub, like, and then leave a comment. The question for that comment will be later this video. All right, Jet has this deck he calls Buy One, Take One, and this one is absolutely crushing the meta. This is the thumbnail deck, the Beat Arishem deck. This deck puts up an absolutely crazy amount of points and is very, very strong and consistent. Jet has climbed extremely high in the Infinite Leaderboard with it, and, I mean, it's just, this deck's just going to get better because it's about to get the new card Kid Omega into it once High Voltage Overdrive drops, so this is going to be super strong. You can find Jet at twitch.tv/says Jet13. There are 5 E's in Jet. I think I have 7 here because I can't count, but I believe there are 5 E's in Jet. This deck needs Cassandra, Phoenix Force, Misery, Surge, and Nico. I know that's a reasonably strange amount of cards, but at least several of them are Series 4, and some of them they gave to us for free. Cassandra. Elixir or Firehair can be Carnage. You do really want one of the two. Once you get to the other free card, Kid Omega, it can be Carnage or Firehair. Sorry, Carnage or Kid Omega. Frigga can be Morgan Le Fay. Frigga is actually really, really important here. All right, so Jet's Buy One, Take One. So the hood is here. You can make multiple demons here. If you make multiple demons, Victoria Hand makes them huge. You can copy those demons with Frigga. You can kill and bring back demons with Phoenix Force. You can get extra demons 1,000 different ways, whether it be from just the hood into with Firehair, and then you can destroy that hood with Venom or Misery. Now you've got a bajillion different demons. You can also just Frigga a demon. You can also turn something into a demon with Nico. Echo is a little protection from ongoing. She's just here and nice for that. She's not a card you really want to bring back, but she is a nice way to steal some extra cubes. Nico has 2 real uses. She destroys or turns the hood into a demon, which are both really good. Be careful with doing that, though. You do want multiple demons in a lot of games. The other thing she's really good at is a copy. Copying a demon, copying a Phoenix Force, copying lots of cards is extremely strong. Surge gives you stuff cheaper. This deck does run a little heavy. It's heavy on 3 and 4, which means that you can run into trouble. Surge helps you out there. Elixir is basically your backup Phoenix Force, gets you back an extra demon, gets you back an extra Victoria Hand, all that good stuff. Very, just powerful and consistent in that way. Firehair is your way to get extra of whatever you destroy, or extra power. Victoria Hand buffs, again, largely that demon contingent, also buffs whatever you Frigga, but generally speaking, what you're looking to use Victoria Hand on is a million demons. Cassandra Nova is the key to the Arishem matchup. You play Cassandra Nova, you can frig it, and then you've won the game. You can also play Cassandra Nova, eat it, with Firehair out, and then you can either Elixir it or Phoenix Force it, and you've won the game. All these different ways to win with Cassandra are just present in the list. Also, even in regular matchups, 2 to 3 Cassandra Novas is incredibly strong. If you go Firehair into Cassandra Nova into Venom, you're keeping that original Cassandra Nova's power. You've got a second Cassandra Nova trigger that you could still Elixir. That's awesome. Surge really does make this better so that you can do this in more like concise turns, but overall this is still extremely doable. Frigga is here largely for demons and Cassandra Nova, but don't be afraid of frigging a Phoenix Force that brought something big back on turn 4, or you can also Frigga a Venom that's eaten some big stuff. For example, if a Cassandra Nova and a demon are eaten by Venom, right? Then what you can do is that you can Elixir one back, Phoenix Force one back, or you can just Frigga that damn Venom. Frigga we've talked about 8 times. Phoenix Force is a way to get these key cards back. Again, we're looking for hoods, demons, Cassandra Novas as a general rule. Re-triggering that on reveal on the hood, having a 1-2 hood is not the worst thing in the world, especially if you had extra Firehair triggers along the way. And then Misery is your other key destroy card, getting extra destroy triggers. Misery and Firehair sort of complement each other, much like Elixir and Phoenix Force do. So those cards all go together. And hell, once Kid Omega is out, Kid Omega, I think, replaces Echo, and Kid Omega will echo the Venom power. So you'll have an extra way to do like all these different things, which is really, really cool to have that redundancy. So with this deck right now, Jet is rank 9 with a 60% win rate, which is fantastic. Rank 9 in the world is huge and an impressive feat. Turn 1 Hood over Echo. Turn 2 Surge or Firehair over Hand. Turn 3 we want Cass over 2. If we got Cass and all the destroy stuff, we should consider snapping. Turn 4 we're looking at Misery or Frigga Venom. We can also Venom on turn 3 once in a while. It's rare, but it's doable. If we went like Hood into Firehair, we could Venom, and then we could Phoenix Force it on turn 4. Misery, Frigga Venom. If we Venom on turn 3, we're Phoenix Forcing here. Turn 5, Phoenix Force or Elixir plus Hand. And then turn 6, Demons, Victoria Hand. Just all sorts of extra stuff, whatever you've copied and made along the way. This list looks harder to play than it is. I know that's you look at this and you go, oh my god, there's so many different lines. This deck has a really high win rate overall in High Infinite right now. It absolutely feasts on all the Arishem and Thanos that's all over the place. It is a really strong list. I told y'all Elixir would be good sooner or later. We've hit the point, and even a day before Kid Omega comes out, or a few hours before Kid Omega comes out, Elixir is now in a meta deck. This is the real deal. I don't know what else to tell you. When Jet hits, he really hits. A lot of the time he plays jank that he just throws Phoenix Force and Misery into, right? Sometimes he really hits a deck that is a meta force. Right now, in the Marvel Snap meta, this is a very strong deck. This puts up points in unpredictable places that opponents will have trouble dealing with, especially once you get the hang of it. Give it some love, give it some play. I think you'll be very, very impressed. If you're interested in checking out a stream, I'm going to be trying to stream that new game mode tonight, hopefully around 8 p.m. Eastern. So check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer if you are willing to come hang out. It would mean an awful lot if you could. In addition, our season pass question is very simple. So if you want a PAX giveaway this week, it's going to be at youtube.com/@comicbookclick. I will be releasing a second video on Tuesday about the new card releasing this week. In fact, I will have all 3 new cards and a big old breakdown because 3 new cards come out this week. We'll talk about 2 of them in today's second video, but we're also going to do a full review of both of those and Nightmare in tomorrow's video at Comic Book Click, youtube.com/@comicbookclick. So all you have to do is go sub over to Comic Book Click. Remember, that's completely free. Watch that video, and I will tell you what comment to leave there. It's a special week, so I'm going to be saying that all week. Go check Comic Book Click, spelling right on the screen. Sub, watch the Tuesday video there at Daily Reset on Tuesday. There'll be a video going over Nightmare and 2 other new cards. I think I have the best Nightmare deck. I don't think it's Brain Surgery, but I think I have the best Nightmare deck, and we're going to go to town. I'll see you on stream tonight playing some high voltage overdrive. Next up, we got Zenade's Morgan Freeman. Today is combo day. This deck is completely wild. Zenade loves this list. It is, I don't even want to spoil it. We'll tell you more about it when we get to the card by card. But for now, you can find Zenade at twitch.tv/ZenadeTFT. Apparently, he played Teamfight Tactics. Who knew? This needs Nico, Scorn, Morgan, Proxima, Makari. I know. But if you have Morgan and you're looking for a deck, this is really, really worth it. Bob can be any good one or Firehair. All right. So what you're really trying to do is you're trying to destroy your Angel, Makari, and perhaps even Proxima. Proxima, if things go late, generally speaking, you end up not doing Proxima, but Angel and Makari. Then you bring them back with Morgan, and you can get them out for free again, except now they're both 6 power. In addition, you get all the other stuff you destroyed or discarded back, and it ends up working out. There are 2 parallel play lines for this, but that is the general gist of this list. Nico gives you an extra destroy or an extra copy of Angel, ideally, or Makari, which are both really good if you're going to be able to destroy them. Scorn offers you a second play pattern where you end up eating Scorn with Venom, and then you can bring that back as this just huge card that you can discard one more time and play at the end of the game. Blade helps that discard pattern with Scorn, while also just, hey, if you randomly discard something while you're doing the other package, great, Morgan's still going to bring that back. Tiger Bob is a lovely 1/4 that becomes a 1/7. You just like to have those. That's why he's here. He's nothing special for either synergy. Carnage and Venom are your 2 destroy cards. Venom obviously keeps the power. Carnage doesn't, but there's sometimes you don't care, right? Like with Scorn or Nico, who cares? Angel, it matters a lot less. Angel pops out whenever you do your first destroy. If you can get Carnage and Venom going, you've got 2 destroys. You can kill, get Angel out for free. Venom, and now you've got that double Angel that you're looking for with Morgan. Colleen does the discard game plan, again, trying to discard Scorn, but hey, discarding other things along the way is fine with Morgan. Makari is a free 3, free 6 with Morgan. You get the idea. That's going to have to almost always be a destroy. It's very hard to discard, unless you get very lucky with like a Blade. Moon Knight is here to exclusively really discard Proxima. Be a little careful with your other cards. You can discard Angel just fine, right? It's not the end of the world. You don't want to discard Colleen, really, although 2/7's not bad. You do want to hit Proxima, just get that free 7 power. Venom is, we've talked about. Morgan is the most important card in the deck. I was told by Zenade specifically, run when you don't have Morgan Le Fay, and then we talked already about Proxima. So we're going to actually color code this. We're going to do something a little different because there's 2 game patterns that run in parallel. You can obviously mix and match, but the general idea is turn 1 is just play a 1. Make sure it's not Scorn or Blade, though. Turn 2, you Carnage a 1 for the Destroy package. Cool. Turn 3, you Venom the Carnage and the now Angel. Turn 4, you play Morgan. Turn 5, you discard ideally Proxima and play a 2-drop. And then turn 6, you replay all your buff stuff. Cool. At that point, you've probably won the game of Marvel Snap. The other thing you can do is turn 1, not Scorn or Blade. Turn 3 is another 1, not Scorn or Blade. Turn 3, you want to play Colleen and Blade, both discarding Scorn. Turn 4, Scorn and either Venom or Carnage. Turn 5, Morgan, and if you have an extra 1-drop, feel free. This is a good time to, if you drew Blade a little late, go Blade into Morgan, discard, get an extra card back. And then turn 6 is play a bunch of stuff. This is I was told this plays exactly like Mr. Negative. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I'm just going to tell you straight up, I'm extremely excited to play this list. I think that this is a very, very cool one, and it's going to be like, this is a blast, right? If you want to play a giant bunch of combo Morgan stuff, Zenade has another Morgan list that's much more traditional that we'll talk about some either tomorrow or the next day. But for now, if you want to play a cool Morgan deck, if you got the damn card, welcome to this list, friends. Hey, if you're interested in checking out some gameplay from some of our friends, today, our friend Gregor2424 in the evening will be streaming a bunch of games of Marvel Snap using these very lists. So please do go check out Gregor, and if you want to see some Overdrive, go watch Gregor and then come hang out with me a little bit after, please. Next up, Eeka. Eeka's back. Eeka, you can tell this is an Eeka list because it's running Pixie and Cersei. But Eeka's back with a Pixie-Cersei nonsense list, but he's having a lot of success with it, and I know a lot of people have fun with this kind of deck, so here we go. You can find Eeka at twitch.tv/Eeka_MTS. This needs Pixie, Annihilus, Alioth, and Werewolf. Surge can be Kate Bishop or Zabu. Surge isn't terribly important here. Cersei can be Lady Deathstrike. You do want an extra way. Cersei is very important, and it changes the deck to run Deathstrike, but you'll be fine. Nico can be any 1 cost on reveal. You just want to move that damn wolf. The Hood, Sentry, and Annihilus remain a package. You can send over that negative stuff. You have 2 other ways now to get rid of the Hood and the Void, though. Those 2 ways are Merlin, who can either shuffle the Hood or the Void into the deck, giving you +2 energy, or turn the Hood into a 2 cost, or the Void into a 5 cost. There's occasional misses when that happens. Hobgoblin and MODOK are both very bad and will likely leave you running, but hey, it's fine. Cersei can do the same thing as far as changing, even changing both at once. Nico is very powerful to also take care of the Hood, but Nico's other thing she does is she can make Pixie a 6 power card or draw, or make it a 2/4. All of that's very good. Pixie mixing up costs is obviously an extremely powerful thing to do, especially given this list. Pixie is amazing. Pixie followed by Mobius is almost always a snap condition. Mobius is amazing, giving you always the better cost of your Pixie stuff, while Mobius also has the added benefit of just occasionally ruining your opponent's life. Surge lets you get things out a little cheaper. Being able to get Sentry out on turn 3, for example, is very strong. If that ever happens into an Annihilus or a Cersei, you've got a snap. Just good stuff in general. Merlin, in addition to taking care of Hood and Void and extra cards, is also very good at moving around Werewolf because the spells disappear and Werewolf moves. That's why Werewolf is ultimately here. It's such a good combo with Merlin, it's worth running. This deck tends to put up enough power to beat big things, but ongoing can still go bigger, so Enchantress. You also don't want to deal with your opponent's Mobius and Mobius. Sentry, 4/9 is good, especially when it can give you either a -9 on the opponent's side of the board, or your own 5-cost card. Cersei is one of the ways of making that 5-cost card. Annihilus sends it over. And then Alioth is, I just need a big finisher. It could be most big finishers here, but Alioth is particularly good in this list when people are trying to counter you, especially because you can often tell where people are going to play based on what you're doing here. This one has a 61% win rate in 31 games. Turn 1, you want Hood. Turn 2, Pixie over Surge, which is equal to Merlin in 4th. Once you've played Pixie, the turn by turn is sort of gone. You can consider snapping Pixie if all your big stuff is in your deck. Turn 3, you want Mobius if we played Pixie, which is a snap for sure. Pixie into Mobius is a snap over Werewolf. If you will play Werewolf over Mobius if you didn't see that Pixie. Turn 4, Sentry over earlier plays. Turn 5, Cersei or Annihilus, whichever one you have. It tends to be worthwhile to, like you can also, play Sentry on turn 4 if you just drew it, if you have Cersei or Annie as well, and you don't think they can finish. And in turn 6, either Cersei and a 1, demons are good here, or a Lithe. Really cool list. I don't know what else to say. Or, Annihilus and a 1 is fine in turn 6 too. Just not quite as good as Cersei as a 1 in general. This one's really cool. I don't usually like Pixie decks or Cersei decks, and this one's definitely going to betray you sometimes, but it's still very strong and really worth playing. Our question of the day is from Pixie-Cersei, the king of questions returns. Do I do anything to celebrate Pride in my classroom? So, not specifically in my classroom, but I was the GSA advisor for many years before it became very frustrating for me that a straight white guy was the GSA advisor, and I stepped down in favor of an actual LGBTQ person. So we do a pride flag raising, and what I've been doing this year largely is my son's now 9, and we've been talking about gay rights. I've talked about Stonewall and a lot of stuff along those lines, and he's very, very passionate about it to the point where he thinks it's really important that people be treated right, that people be treated fairly, that people aren't judged, and that people can love the way they want to the point where when we considered moving to Dubai, that LGBT rights don't exist there was a major deal breaker for him. He couldn't deal with that. So I don't do anything super specific, but I do my best to help and support. Next up, we've got our Patreon thanks for tiers of support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks. Check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. Bricks to Click is our Patreon of the month. I think we're going to do our stream aberration next Saturday, by the way, so start marking that down if you can be free. Thank you to Abigail Gieson, Mandatory Burnout, It, Regardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota, Neverete, Prime Brian, Ryan Burke, Ryan Woodsnap, Heran Ridge, Kertix Lee, Koirei, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyrofrost, The Goat Seeker, Code, Hallowed, Only Fox, Synth, Frederick, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extra Sweet and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Sup Jess, Mr. Slush Death, King Up Bros, Bruck, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Gibbsy Hoda, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, David G, Wingfield, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V, Corey, Corwin, John Q, and Jim McHugh, Q Town, Ye Stout, Eighth Sage, Well Big Man, Welcome for Reels, Cactus Jack, Reapser, Yo Marco, Quid Pro Joe, Snap to Scissors Joe, DiCarlo220. Check out the Snap to Scissors podcast. Check out DiCarlo220 on Twitch. Check out Ryan Wood Snap on YouTube. Models Master Supreme, Bickety Boom Bop, Green Goblin, Unibot V2. Check him out on YouTube. The Fuzzy Knot, Flan 56. I know I messed up that order. Spectrix, Food, Ocularis, Matt H, DJ, Mikey High Drinks, No Frickin' Flex. Check out Nick the Greek Geek on Twitch, Toxic Soul King on Twitch, Zodrek74 on Twitch, The King of Canada, JJ on Twitch, Deadman Falcon on YouTube, Valthar Newman on YouTube and Twitch. He also has a life update on his YouTube that I need to watch. Jonesy Snapped on YouTube, 2 ties for the 5th of July. Our friend, the great Lauren Bedevs, congrats again. Papyri King Tucker, Twitch and YouTube, congrats again. Lauren Bedevs, by the way, snap on this pod. And of course, Gunny T, the T stands for don't forget, second video today, where we will go over Voltage Overdrive for ya. I'll see you then. Peace.